Hello, hello, hello. It's your girl, BRANDIJENAE. And I'm back with another live, guys. I am back with another live. I know generally we do Tuesday nights, so don't forget to join us on Tuesday nights. You'll have myself and Miss Angela from Word on the Curb. And we are talking housewives, right? We will be doing Real Housewives of Atlanta Tuesday evenings, about 9:30 ish, 9:45, something like that. 9:15, somewhere in between there. We are working on making sure we kind of get a consistent time, but we are doing excellent with keeping the day. So Tuesday evenings, we review Real Housewives of Atlanta. Happy Sunday! Happy Sunday! Happy Sunday! So I wanted to jump on because I wanted to do just a kind of wrap up live where we could talk about some of the things that's going on in these internet streets. Okay. Some stuff might be old to you. Some stuff is new, right? Like recently we just saw Remy Ma, okay, with her freestyle. She dropped her freestyle, honey. And listen, I was like, somebody needs to go check on Clarissa because I think she caught a couple hits in those rhymes. Let me go ahead. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna pull it up because what I'm gonna do is play it and let y'all hear it, okay? And then we can talk about some of those shots. And then I'm gonna give y'all some more insight on Clarissa because also I came across an interview she did on a podcast, and I feel like at least me listening to that snippet, I didn't listen to the entirety of the podcast, and I'll go into reasons why for that. But at least with that clip and what the content was in that clip, it gave me a little bit of an eye opener into her personality, and why she shows up the way she does online. And it's so funny about online kind of being this parallel universe to reality TV. And what I mean by that is, you got a lot of people who go on reality TV and they feel like they can control their narratives, right? They can control what you think of them, or what even about them. We'll go as far as that. And the deal is, you don't have a lot of control over that. Once you kind of put yourself in that type of arena, you don't really have a lot of control over the way that people perceive you, or even how you look, how you show up in public. Like, I don't like, and that sound like you control how you look, right? But you don't necessarily control what it seemed to look like. Okay. And so like I said, this clip that I saw with Clarissa, it just really kind of explained to me where some of her defensiveness comes from, like why she shows up on the internet like she trolling everybody on the internet. That's the way I see Clarissa. I see Clarissa as a bully. I see Clarissa as a troll. And even though I know, like, everybody talks about that the internet trolls her, like we hate black women, and that's why everybody like have these jokes and different things about her. And it's like, no, I don't think it's that. I think it's deeper than that. I think she's not aware of the way that she shows up, and so it puts her in this defensive space. And so she's always defensive, no matter what the question is, no matter what the topic, no matter where you at, you ready, like you stay on ready. And I don't know, is that a boxing thing? Because maybe that's a boxing thing. And I know for me, that's the reason why she feels like a bully to me, because I like, as far as you being a boxer, knowing that you know how to box, that's cool. So you can beat somebody up. But as far as being a person that would bait a person into that, you're a bully. And so that's the way I see her. I see her as a bully. But let's listen to what she had to say in this clip, and then I'll go and explain more about how some of that idea changed for me about her. Okay, let me find it, y'all. Here you go.
You got more fame and more money than you ever have in your life. How's your family dealing with that?
You know, sadly, I have, and it's not just from family and close, but it's close friends who I grew up with. Some people I never thought I'd be living my life without. Listen, I done bought every last one of my siblings a car.
Really?
Bought my mama a house, my mama 2 cars, my daddy a car, help him with his bills, help mama with her bills, help my sister take care of her 3 kids. Her 3 kids live with me. I go there, sit with the teachers, go to teacher conferences. I do all this stuff, and it seemed like the more you do, the more that they don't like you.
Right.
I overlooked how much my sister, started disliking me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know. I never done nothing to her. I don't want to get emotional, you know what I'm saying? But me and my sister got the same mama and same daddy, and we grew up together. And she just, you work so hard to make all this money and to have a good life for yourself, and then the people who you want to share it with, they just change on you, and it's hurtful because people say it's lonely at the top, but damn, this lonely, you know what I'm saying? People shouldn't feel like because I work my butt off that they deserve my money and they deserve my time and they deserve to tell me who I can and can't hang around, and they can be so entitled. Family shouldn't be like that. Now all of a sudden, I'm the bad person, but I wasn't a bad person when I was doing backflips for you. I didn't have no boundaries. You can talk to me how you want to talk to me. You can trigger me. You can make me cry. You can mess up fights. You can do all this stuff. As soon as I tell you no to something, I can buy you a car, put you in a house, pay all your bills.
It ain't enough.
People don't want what you give them. They want what you have.
Say that again.
People don't want what you give them. They want what you have. Mm-hmm. And that there you can't have. You can't have what I done worked hard for.
Mm-hmm. So listen, when I came across that, you could really just hear it in her voice, and like, listen, I don't even have what she got in the bank. I ain't got a quarter of what she has, right? But I feel like most of us can really relate with that type of attitude, because it doesn't even take having millions. All you really have to do is set yourself apart, or kind of be in a different like category than the rest of the people in your family, friend group, what have you. And you will notice things. Maybe for some families it's not that way, and that's a blessing, right? It's a blessing for somebody to be able to go achieve their goals, be able to level up, be able to take themselves from one place to another. And the people who are still in that same place are just as supportive, are just as grateful. They're not feeling entitled to be where you are. I love that saying that she said at the end, which was, people don't want what you give them, they want what you have. And that is a huge difference, because, and like I said, I can relate. And so I just could relate to being a person who overgave, overextended, even in ways where I sacrificed my own self so that other people could have what they needed, be comfortable, be happy, whatever it is, because I live my life that way. I'm always wanting anybody around me to be happy and comfortable, right? Because I think those are things that we should not have to fight hard to be. Okay, we really shouldn't. And just as a person, yeah, I don't want to be a miserable little bee. I want people to enjoy themselves while they're around. But sometimes that just, like I said, you get caught in this mode where you are overextending, over people pleasing, neglecting yourself. And most of the time you do that for the people closest to you, like your closest friends, like your family, right? Because those are the people you are wanting to take along this journey with you, or wanting to, pull along. But somewhere along the way, you find out that people are not as happy for you as you think, or as they pretend. And so that can be a devastating realization. It just is a devastating place to be. Like she started off saying, it's lonely at the top. That is exactly the reason why. because you can't take everybody with you. Because like Tyler Perry said, you put everybody in the boat. It's some people poking holes in the boat. Like not everybody who got in the boat is trying to get to where the boat going. Some people trying to stall the boat. So and that's so sickening and sad that you could share blood, space, time, and money with somebody who would dare to not see you elevate, who would dare to have the thought that you shouldn't have it, they should. And again, I've dealt with that type of thinking for a long time. For a long time. I feel like I want to say the very first time that I probably noticed it and knew that something like something was up, I had to be maybe about 17 years old. And of course, at 17, I'm not no famous person. I don't sing, I don't dance, I'm not on television. So at 17, I wasn't doing anything far and above what anybody else around me was doing. The difference was I had people in my life that hated me for the way other people loved me. Now, how sick is that? Right? How sick is that? So, with that being said, when I saw the clip, I understood Clarissa a little bit more. I understood more of her defensiveness. The only thing I really wish she understood and could like get a handle on, right? Because when she shows up online, it feels unhinged. And that is what people are commenting, what they're grabbing onto is the fact that her response feels unhinged. It feels like you spazzing. And that's because you're trying to defend yourself against the entire internet. There's no way in the world you're gonna be able to do that, girl. So you can let the internet have it. And from this little clip, it feel like you let these family members have it because you can let them have it too. Like you don't really have to waste your time arguing or defending yourself against people who are committed to what they think of you. You're not about to change nobody, man. And that's like I said, and that's the problem with people. You can't be friends. You can't have family members. Those people are relatives, okay? You can't have family members who want your life. That's like she said, they don't want what you gave them. They want what you have. And so that's a whole nother level of snakeness. That's a whole nother level of being around dirtiness, right? It's because you with somebody who is plotting for you to not have, even though you taking from yourself and giving them. Now, just as soon as I got there with Clarissa and I said, I understand her a little more. So when I see her clips come up now, I know that I am going to see it in a different view now because I just with that one little clip, like I said, it gave me just a lot of insight. Like, I'm like, wow, that makes sense. You have to defend, because if you've never been betrayed by somebody like your mom, your sister, your brother, like somebody in that close proximity to you, you trust nobody at all. At all. I don't care. It can be the person you're sleeping with. Like it would take a lot for that person to get the trust that they think they have. Because I feel like even with me, there's a trust level that I can give out, but as far as like, I don't know what somebody think about real trust, because I'm almost sure that nobody has my 100% trust, because I have been betrayed by a person who I was never supposed to distrust in that way. Right? I was never supposed to have to question certain things, right? And so when that happens, you question everybody, because you don't really, like, if the person who was put on this earth, right, if they can betray you in a that way, then why would anybody else not? You know what I mean? And even though that's not that's not true, in as far as being factual. Of course, just because, you have a family member that betrays you doesn't mean that you won't find someone else that you can trust. I'm just speaking about what it does to the person, right? You move on, like, I don't hold people hostage to trust. I trust people for what they show me. I trust what you show me. And if you show me that you're a liar, then I trust you to lie. That's just that. And that's it. I don't expect for a liar to tell me the truth. So I would not ask somebody who I think is a liar a truthful question and expect to, get something that's the truth for them. And that's just the way I adapt. That's the way I've been able to survive. And it keeps me pleasant also, because holding on, like trying to watch everybody to see who's who, like that's too much. So also, like, I'm the queen of get rid of them, right? Stay away. Like, you go places, you realize the places you've been in, you come to the conclusion that those people don't even like you. Stop going. That's what you do. You stop going. So that's kind of where I'm at with Clarissa. I'm like, I really wish somebody on her team, just kind of would home baby girl in, give her a nice big, loving hug, honey, right on in the breast. And just tell her, like, girl, you can't fight the whole entire internet. Now, I'm sure she's going to want to fight somebody once this little song sink in. Because when I woke up yesterday morning, I just wasn't really expecting this out of Remy Ma. But let me tell you, Remy Ma kind of confirmed a few things for me also in this little rap. And y'all know what? I'm not even monetized yet, which means, listen, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. If you like some of this content, go watch some of the other content. Share it with your friends. Make sure you comment. Make sure you let me know where you're watching from. Make sure you let me know what type of content you want to see coming up, because I am in the midst of adding new content and new topics other than Housewives and reality TV. So the very first series that we are starting is Romanticizing Your Life. Okay, so get into it. Make sure you subscribe. Oh, and hit that bell notification button in case I upload a live that I did not tell you about. Okay, back to it. Back to Remy. So yeah, I wasn't prepared for what Remy Ma had to say up in this song, honey. But let me tell you, one thing about me, if you've been here long enough, you already know I love a good nasty read, honey. Like a nasty, like nice nasty. I'm like, those are the reads I like to do. Very like elegant, over your head, honey. I gotta make you think about the insult, right? Because like the insult is so clever, you can't even figure out if you've been insulted or not, right? I love those types of reads. Let's get into this song. Let's get into this freestyle.
Surgery in exchange for promo, bitch. I'm with gang on a yacht or some YOLO shit. You keep jumping on my dick like a pogo stick. In competition with herself, don't even know that bitch. Hoes be doing the most over so dick. I been her since I was wearing Bobos, bitch. You get a bullet through your shirt with a logo whiz. The nerve of niggas claiming that they wrote those hits. When they whole career, they ain't never ghost wrote shit. Not for me or anybody else. You always acting like you helping, nigga. Go help yourself. See, I know what the problem is. I don't really brag enough, but you don't talk about prices when your bag is up. You keep talking numbers, but the numbers ain't adding up. You wanna be a baddie, but you ain't bad enough. See, I know how to network. How on the network, you know you get money when they Googling your net worth. I'm a motherfucking expert. Now how you talking out your neck when I know how your nigga neck work? I know you really hate my guts, cause you bitches really ugly, can't make this up. They calling me Slim Rim, but my weight is up. They telling me I should wait, nigga, wait for what? The wait.
Listen, let's run that back one more time.
Watch how you talk to me. I'm a mogul, bitch. You getting surgery in exchange for promo, bitch. I'm with gang on a yacht or some YOLO shit. You keep jumping on my dick like a pogo stick. In competition with herself, don't even know that bitch. Hoes be doing the most over so-so dick. I been her since I was wearing Bobos, bitch. You get a bullet through your shirt with a logo whiz. The nerve of niggas claiming that they wrote those hits. When they whole career, they ain't never ghost wrote shit. Not for me or anybody else. You always acting like you helping, nigga. Go help yourself. See, I know what the problem is. I don't really brag enough, but you don't talk about prices when your bag is up. You keep talking numbers, but the numbers ain't adding up. You wanna be a baddie, but you ain't bad enough. See, I know how to network. How on the network, you know you get money when they Googling your net worth. I'm a motherfucking expert. Now how you talking out your neck when I know how your nigga neck work? I know you really hate my guts, cause you bitches really ugly, can't make this up. They calling me Slim Rim, but my weight is up. They telling me I should wait, nigga, wait for what? The wait.
Okay, listen. I just had to run that back one more time just so y'all could get a few of those rhymes in. And I don't even think that was it because I did go listen to another version. And I just said, honey, you know how they was joking like Papoose him upstairs or Pap upstairs, I guess is what she always say on her live, baby. I said after that little rhyme, he is down in the basement. Somebody go down there and check on him. Okay? And somebody go over there and check on Clarissa, baby, because I know she was in the gym, but all I could think about, I went to her page to see what she posted. And she's in the gym, you know, punching the punch bag. But what popped in my brain was the scene from Boys in the Hood, like one of the last scenes with Cuba Gooding Jr. when he was punching the air, right? That's what came in my mind. Like I know damn well you had to get to the gym and go hit that bag because girl, the way that Remy just went in, and let me tell you, hold on 1 second. Sit down and be quiet. You're on punishment. Prince Michael Jackson on punishment, y'all. He climbed up on my windowsill and was behind where my plants and stuff at. He know doggone well he can't fit there. Anyway, so back to Remy. So yeah, I was just like, she just went in. Okay, she unloaded the clip, and I halfway can't blame her, simply because listen. I have a video on TikTok. I posted this a few months back, and the caption was about somebody letting Clarissa know like she's dating a married man, like, and that's just it. That's the fact, and that's it. We understand that he's separated, but you know this is and I think that Clarissa has set her own self up, you know, just for some toxic, stupid stuff because you're not even in a position where you have to deal with anything like that. You know what I mean? You ain't gotta date somebody's husband and a real man. So just like how she sat up on Breakfast Club and she talked about what Papoose pays for, you know, it's kind of like I could see her being this young girl, and it's like, man, I wish she had some like real women around her to be like, girl, first of all, him coming in paying the bills, that's the minimum, okay? Like, that's exactly what he's supposed to do if he want any of your time. You don't go nowhere bragging about that. He's supposed to do that. And that's the whole thing. Like, you got so many men around here that don't, that women really think that's a flex. That's not a flex. He's supposed to. And let me just take it here. Because I ain't saying he got to pay them all. I'm okay with anybody doing 50-50, you know, having the arrangements that work in their house be what it is. But what I do say is everybody got to pay their way. Ain't no way somebody's supposed to be laying up in your house and they ain't paying for nothing. We're not doing that. Rent too high, food too high, lights too high, all of this shit too high. Can't nobody lay up in my place for free. Man, woman, or child. Even Prince Michael Jackson is paying his way around here, okay? No lies detected. So I'm like, Clarissa is young. Clarissa is defensive. Clarissa has a family that is jealous of her. At least that is the way she explained it. you cannot, like, Clarissa won't be in a good headspace until she get that type of thing, that negativity stuff away from her. Now here, go back to Remy, what Remy said, because she called Pap out too. I kept hearing people talk about Pat being this great lyricist, and I really could never remember ever feeling that way about Pat. To be quite honest, I don't think I can really remember like a verse or a song that Papoose was in that I can go back to and be like, yeah, Papoose verse. Like Wale for me, I can go and give you a couple songs like, oh, I love his verse here. I love Wale, you know, like Wale is a good rapper to me. I like the way he rap. I don't even think I can name anything I know Papoose rapped on. So first of all, let's go there. But when he released his freestyle, you know, I thought it sounded a bit juvenile. I thought it sounded like he was just like ranting, you know, like he just written out all his thoughts and just, you know, just vomited them. They didn't go with the beat. There was no cadence, you know, to it. It was just, it was just word vomit, you know. And so when she said in her song talking about Remy, when Remy said in her freestyle, you know, like you ain't never ghost wrote ish, I thought I believe her. I believe her. You know, yeah, I believe her because even this rap she just gave us, you know, like is fire, right? You can tell that she raps well. But Papoose, your rap was like, I think that little boy, what's G Herbo's baby name? G Herbo and Ari Baby, because they got a little song going out around the internet right now. That baby rap better than Papoose. That baby, but they calling him Baby Crash. Baby Crash rap better than Papoose. So I'm inclined to believe Remy on this one. And not just because I'm on Remy's side. I believe it because the proof is in the pudding. Okay, I believe it because that last freestyle Pat put out sound like a 5-year-old wrote it and rapped it. Okay, not just wrote it, but wrote and rapped it. So somebody go check on Clarissa over there. Let's make sure Clarissa is doing well. And also, like, let's make sure Clarissa understands she don't have to respond to everything. It's okay. You know, like I said, you're dealing with a guy who's still married. And that's just the fact of it. It doesn't mean I'm not trying to accuse her of being a mistress or anything like that, because I understand the difference and I understand what's happening. But I also don't think she understands that the public views that way because he's had a public marriage also. So while Remy can drop a freestyle, she can drop a whole network. And ain't nobody constantly coming to her telling her, girl, you're a married woman. Like, what is you doing dating this random ass man? Right? Because we know she's in her own relationship also. But that's because she's leaving us alone about it. That's her business, and she is keeping it there. Clarissa, and I get that she seems to keep being asked about it, but I don't know why she won't just steer the question. You know, you keep inviting yourself to these conversations and it just make her look bad, even though she's not the one, like, you're not the one that's supposed to be looking bad. But because you're so defensive, because your family treats you poorly and are jealous of you, you know, now you attack everybody. And that happens. Like, I'm gonna call it, Kempire is good for talking about the villain era. And it's funny because I believe that when I had my villain era, I've come out of my villain era. 2026, I am not in my villain era anymore. But I will say, I think about 2024, between 24 and 25, I most certainly was in my villain era. And that meant, what my villain era meant was, I'm telling it like it is. I'm taking names, kicking ass, you know, chopping people off the block, not giving a DAM if you here or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's up to you. But baby, I'm going to be cool. And so villain era activated, but nope, I got rid of everybody who needed to go. And so I was able to close that chapter. And so now we are in the princess era, honey. I'm romanticizing my life, okay? And that is coming up on our first that's going to be our first series of videos and podcasts. I'm gonna re-release my podcast, and that's kind of the first series we are going to start on, is romanticizing your life. And what romanticizing your life means for me is just more so learning how to not romanticize the red flags, right? But to be present and intentional in what's going on in your life now and making the best out of it, right? Not ignoring what has to be done to make it better. That's not what we're doing. But what we are doing is being present and intentional in our lives so that you can know when you are reaping a benefit. You know, we talk about sowing and reaping. You got to know when your reap has come. And sometimes we are, I just saw listen to this with Sarah Jakes Roberts, but sometimes we're so busy in the process, you miss the fact that you reaped, you know, because you're so busy. And so this is where romanticizing your life just kind of helps you slow down, helps you breathe. It helps you appreciate, you know, like just the things, because I do believe that life is all about all of it. And it's funny enough that we have a lot of conversations. Some of the biggest, I think, podcasts and things now, content in general, is all surrounded around like dating and love and relationships. Like that is such a huge topic for everybody, right? Because everybody has so much to do or say or whatever about it. But I've always believed that the most important relationship that you will have is the one you have with yourself. And once you learn, believe, practice, treating yourself right, putting yourself first, you know, just treating yourself the way you treat other people, or even want other people to treat you, to treat yourself that way, that's a different level. It's a different level of self-love. It's a different level. It's not anything conceited. It's not anything like narcissistic or anything like that. It's this vibration of knowing who you are, loving who you are, and being rooted in who you are. You know, so many times we get wrapped up in trying to get to know somebody else, and you don't know yourself. You know, you put up with stuff you don't have no business putting up with because what? You don't want to be alone? I am my own best company. I'm my own best company. I remember the times 10, 12. I remember the times when I was younger, when it got lonely. You know, there were times when I might, especially once we got social media, because I am from the 1900s. But there's times when I saw, you know, a friend or something, and I'll use that in quotation marks, and maybe they went somewhere, but I didn't get a call or invite. And there were times when I would feel really sad and down, and I would overthink and try to figure out, like, dang, did I do something to them? Like, why they didn't invite me? You know, like that. And today, honey, I'm okay. Don't invite me. It almost is a blessing to not be invited. Because what I also understood too in my journey, and we'll get more through this in the series, but in my journey, what I understood about my personality, about my energy, about the people who want to soak up the energy, but maybe not pour in, right? So like everybody has to refuel, replenish. But I realized that there were some people who just wanted me around because I made things better, not because they really wanted to be around me, but whatever space they needed to be in, I would make the space better. Okay, you know, like it is what it is. You know, buffer, I guess, is kind of the best way to put it. And that's so funny because I also think that in high school I may have been a couple people's beards. That's funny how I am that in that position, and not like. And when I say that, I'm just saying just going to a dance, you know, in that way, not being in a relationship. But anyway, and so listen. So now I'm okay. I'm okay. I don't want to be invited. I also plan things without even thinking of who to invite. I plan things. Now I have a couple friends who you know, I let them know in advance. Like, hey, if you see me doing something, like I'm not excluding you on purpose. I'm just doing things on my own, you know, by myself. I'm not really, and so I'm giving them the permission to let me know when they want to be included on something, right? To see, you know, that means, hey, what you got going on, what you doing on what you will. Because what I'm not doing is making a plan and finding out if somebody want to do the plan I got. That's not what I'm doing. I also know the reason, another I'm getting off topic, but another reason why I started doing that is I noticed that sometimes when I included other people on things that I wanted to do, the plans changed. And I don't like that. Because I don't do that to other people. When you invite me somewhere, I come to go to what's invited. I don't change up the plan. And so for me, I can plan things according to my style, my budget, my, you know, availability. And I like it. I like it that way. Y'all let me know. Drop down in the comments. How do you feel about that? Do you like planning things on your own? Do you prefer to try to like get a group of people together? I just really don't. I just really don't. But I can't wait to celebrate my son's birthdays. Me and my sons will be getting together and we will be celebrating birthdays. So that's going to be fun. Anyway, now let's move on to Trick Daddy, okay? So, like, this is a little bit of old news, but in current news, you know, AKA is currently in Indianapolis. It's Sunday, so they should be wrapping up their conference, their 92nd conference. It was taking place Central Conference, so it was in Indianapolis for the Central area. Now they had After Seven perform at their at their, I don't know, banquet. I don't know what the actual ceremony on that day is called, but I'm gonna call it a banquet. So they had After Seven perform, which is appropriate, right? After Seven, they don't have any song, even though they might have love songs. They don't have songs that are crassly depicting, you know, sexual behavior, right? I am curious because I think this is the same situation that Sexy Red found herself in when she went to a school and then the school wouldn't let her in or something crazy like that. But I just thought, how sick is that? Because whoever decided that they would contract Trick Daddy, I think at the moment in which you are placing the name Trick Daddy on an AKA conference flyer, something, it's like, stop, think about what you're doing, because I think one of these things don't belong, right? And then to go far as to say, like, well, they went over a set list with him. So, because he went online and he's like, you can't give me no playlist. Like, this not your wedding, which I laughed, you know, and I wondered about that. Like, like if you do hire an artist to come and sing as something for you, like, do you get to request songs? I don't know. But even at the fact in which you thought you could get this man a playlist, let's just say that he complied with the playlist, right? Let's just say he complied with the playlist. It's the context that is inappropriate. It's the context of his music that is inappropriate. It doesn't even matter if he takes out the curse words. It is what he is talking about. So I really think that whoever was in charge of the entertainment for their conference. I don't know what the AKAs do when somebody step out of line, but that seemed like somebody needs to have a conversation with her, because I think they just set everybody up for failure. And it was almost like you embarrassed him, because y'all invited him there and then you cut his set short. That's not cool, because you should have known better before you invited the man. You had no business. My opinion is you had no business inviting him in the first place. So at the point that he got there and he started performing, that's just what it is. Y'all should let that man finish performing. But if you ain't know now, then you know now. You know now, nigga. Okay. Mm-hmm. But if you don't know, now you effing know. Okay, so we're gonna move on from Mr. Trick Daddy Dollars. All right. And I just wanted to bring this up to the stage because I was just scrolling on my Instagram like I always do. And so I don't know if anybody paid attention. Okay, I'm about to say a few different things in this sentence, right? Number one is, I hate when people say, I just post on social media for entertainment. I don't post what I'm going through. Don't none of that stuff apply to me. And it's kind of like, okay, because, okay, whatever. Like, I can understand that people don't post personal things like that are directly happening to them currently. But what I do understand about people's behavior is what you post, what you like, what you repost, what you share, what you add to your story. Like, all of those things do speak to your character. They speak to who you are in some particular way. Maybe not directly, but if there's a particular comedian that you like and you share a lot of that stuff, whatever that comedian's content is, it's assumption that you like that content. So if that person is talking about being a side person, chick, man, whatever, and that seemed to be what you share all the time, then it would seem to me that you have you relate to that content. Anyway, so I'm mentioning all this to say, I'm just scrolling down my Instagram and I noticed this content that came up on my feed from a person that I don't follow, even though I did like the content because I sat and listened to what the reel was saying. It was talking about narcissists. And so I sat and listened to what the reel was saying. But as I was sitting there listening to the reel, honey, I happened to notice Miss Quad. Now listen, look, Miss Quad, that's the reason why this man's stuff is coming across my news feed. Because Miss Quad is reposting this man. And I do follow Miss Quad. Now, Quad doesn't follow me, but I follow her. So, FYI, people, when you repost things, right, you repost to your following, okay? That's the reason. Let's just get into these friends and the businesses and stuff. That's the reason why, as a friend, if you have a friend that has a business, maybe you can't afford to patronize the business. That's okay. But in no way, shape, or form should your friend be posting about their business and you not giving them a repost and posting it out to, your following and to your connections. There's no way. And again, people are allowed to do what they want to do. They're allowed to post what they want to post. But let me tell you, they ain't no friend of yours. I have friends, and I use the word friend lightly. I have people that I know who post things on social media, and because I know that they have ambitions and that they're trying to reach a goal, I don't sit back and hold my judgment for what the hell the post is saying, or to figure out well, do I really like this? You know what kind of weirdo you got to be sitting up analyzing somebody you call friend, their post as opposed to whether you gonna like it or not. You sitting up holding your likes for as hostages. Like, people are crazy out here. But so I'm saying all to say, like, if I got friends that have businesses, they doing things. I just repost, I just share. I sometimes don't even finish the whole video. Sometimes maybe that's wrong on my part. Maybe somebody's like, well, yeah, you should be finishing the whole video. Maybe I should, or maybe I don't give a damn, because as soon as I see your name, whatever you doing, I'm pushing it out. That's it. That's all. I don't care. I ain't got to read it or approve it to see if it's worthy of going on my timeline. I'm telling you, one thing about it, people won't ask me what I think, because you're gonna get the truth. And I tell people this all the time. I find that when somebody has did something weird to me, they remove themselves. And they remove themselves because if we have to have a conversation about it, I'm going to tell you what I think. I'm going to tell you what it is. And I'm not accepting bullshit. The only BS I need is bags and shoes, okay? That ain't never changed. And not the bags up under my eyes, all right? The one I carry. But yeah, and so I realized that God has kind of put me in that space where people just remove themselves, because you already know you did some weird shit. And I don't like weirdos, so I don't fool around with that. Anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to point out that clearly Quad believes that King is a narcissist, okay, because that's a lot of the content that this guy posts. And I don't know. We only saw King for 2 seasons, maybe 1.5 to be exact. I don't know if the man is a narcissist or not. And let's be clear, narcissist is a word that's being thrown around quite recklessly, I might add, and also by myself. I'm going to include myself in that. I have probably made the mistake of calling someone a narcissist, and I really had to double track and take it back. Only reason why I took it back was because I'm not trained to diagnose anybody with a personality disorder at all. So that's just the truth. And so what it is like, yeah, I'm not qualified to tell you that you're a narcissist. But what I am qualified to do is point out, the same characteristics, and point out, that pattern. And we can talk about that, so it's the psychiatrists and psychologists that put the name to it. I can just make sure I point out, like, yeah, well, you seem to have a lot of these particular tendencies. But you would need a professional to actually diagnose you. So I think many of us sometimes as women, when we are dating and we go through things, sometimes you end up going through a breakup, and all of a sudden you do feel like the breakup is because of narcissist. And I mean, that could be true or not true. I think most of the time it's probably untrue. Because the more I think about how, like, the seriousness of a narcissist, like, of what that means to be a narcissist, I think we should probably lean more into people having tendencies, right? And not that they are full-blown narcissists, because I believe that looks different. And I think that, we are experiencing that if you really want to pay attention to the person who is currently in office. But anyway, as it pertains to Quad and Kirk's, because that's what we calling him now, Kirk's relationship, listen, I'm inclined to believe a little bit of what Kirk is saying about the breakup was not mutual. I don't know why this is the part that make me think that he's a piss poor man. I'm not sure why he is so excited or thirsty to get the information out that he broke up with her, and she didn't want to break up. I'm not sure why that would be something that he gets enjoyment out of. It's very feminine to me. I think ladies operate in that space more so. But listen, if he was raised by his mom, I can understand why. And listen, and I did just throw all moms who got boys up under the bus, because I got 3 boys myself, but my boys don't act like that. I guarantee it. Anyway, I raised men. Let me make that clear. I raised men for real. Anyway, we saw it on television. If you go back and go through the Married to Medicine reviews, ever since the episode where we knew that Quad's egg retrieval did not take, because we knew it prior to the ladies knowing it, prior to her opening up to the rest of the cast. We saw it prior to that, and her and Kirk had a conversation on that episode about whether they would go and do another egg retrieval. Kirk made it clear that he didn't know what he signed himself up for, that this was overwhelming, and he didn't think he wanted to do another egg retrieval. Quad said, if it's about the money, I'll pay for it. That's what she said to his response, right? That's desperation, sis. And because I've been in a place where I really wanted to be like, stay in this place with this person so badly that I was willing to overextend myself in ways that you had no business overextending yourself. That's what we saw. We literally watched Quad do that. She cried about it. Now, I'm not going to tell you she cried about him staying, but she cried about wanting to do the egg retrieval again. Also, during the reviews of Married to Medicine, I pointed out that Quad, in my opinion, this baby train had been more about keeping the attachment to him. Ladies. Most women get caught up in that. You get caught up in, you done met this man, whatever, he making you feel good. He's doing all of the things. And that's the thing, even with narcissists or with like this abuse pattern, like the whole like grand gestures or, like doing all of this stuff to make you feel good. Like that's part of the process, silly. So that's why, ladies, you have to love yourself enough to where when a man brings you flowers, you're not ready to just jump his bone and have his babies because he gave you, a dozen roses of flowers. You should be so used to getting flowers that you're able to say, thank you, baby, I appreciate it, and move on. Falling all at his feet, because he's done something that every man before him should have been doing for you, but did not. And now that he's the one to do it, that doesn't make him any better than the other ones. It just means he knows better about what to do. He knows better about what to do. It's funny. This is the funniest thing I think about like men who open car doors, right? So I'm going to give you this. The men who open car doors or open doors doesn't impress me as much as the man who gets out of his car first and comes and opens your door, right? That's the impressiveness. But if we both walking into the store, I'm actually going to stop at the door, right? Like until you get there, if you're not already in front of me, because my expectation is for you to open the door. That's the expectation. No, it's not impressive. And that's part of romanticizing your life, ladies. Like start loving on yourself enough so that when men do the very bare minimum of a gesture that should already be happening for you, or have happened at some point, right? That you're not blinded and you're not romanticizing the wrong thing. But I could tell very clearly from with Quad that this baby thing was to keep King. And I think that King probably didn't quite understand what he was getting himself into as IVF pertained to. Because I think that IVF, I've never been through IVF, just hearing people and their stories, that has to be a trying process for any couple, especially one that just got together. We just knowing each other. And now all of a sudden you got me flying to Ghana to do, egg retrievals. That's a bit much. So anyway, back to going to my reviews. I had already said, I've said it every single week after that particular conversation where we saw Quad break down, and almost begged that man to continue this IVF thing with her. So listen, I believe it. I believe that Quad did not want the relationship to end, but I also believe that that conversation we watched on television, if they didn't break up that day, right? If they didn't break up that day, that was the very beginning of them breaking up. Because even if somebody wants to have a baby, she can't stay with somebody who don't. That's not even going to work. So anyway, I thought it was quite interesting that, Quad is reposting narcissistic messaging. And I think that is because she believes she was dating a narcissist. This probably is her second one, because I think she believes that Dr. Gregory is one also. Like I said, I think we got to get out of that. We got to, stop diagnosing people when you like, you ain't got the good sense God gave you, and you sitting up running around trying to tell somebody they got a personality disorder. Is you cool? Shit. Crazy as that. But that's but that's what's going on in this world now. I guess that's what information does to you. Everybody is an expert. Like I saw something, I was scrolling, and and I thought it was quite truthful. Like a lot of things, and I'm gonna get more into this in our series too. Like even with my business, it's taking me some time to get my business to like just where I want it to be or what I thought it was. And the funny thing about it is that I have gotten distracted along the way. So I went reaching for this and reaching for that and doing this. And then it's funny, 26, the guy came and said, like, go back to the beginning. I love when I'm able to hear different messages from God, because I don't always hear God speak to me, but every so often I do. And I love when I do, because it's like he's always telling me, like, okay, no, you know what I'm saying? So with the business, he's telling me go back to the beginning. And so that's what I'm doing with that. I'm going back to the beginning, y'all, which that's another reason why I'm getting ready to do better series. I want to practice some better editing. That's going to come down the line. So y'all just bear with me with some of the, homemade production, just bear with me until I can, just work this out to be able to hire people. It's hard building something on your own, and it's hard building something when people don't feel like you are qualified to build it. Because that, in my opinion, if you ever want to know why your friends don't like, your things, and it's because it's not about if they are purchasing or if they're spending money with you. I think anybody who wants you to win is gonna help you win, and that it doesn't matter what that takes. Hold on. Let me go get Prince Michael Jackson together. Lay down and be quiet. Let me step up out this door real quick, because I think this little thing about to get on my damn nerves. Okay, sorry, y'all. Lay down, Prince Michael Jackson. I'm gonna take him out for a walk when we get done with this live. Anyway, so back to it. Back to what I was saying, which I can't hardly remember what I was saying now. Um, I was just saying that, I'm going to start posting different content. It's still sticking with Housewives, still going to give you reality reviews and things. But we're just going to dig a little deeper. Guy Ben told me that, I need to share. Prince Michael Jackson, be quiet. Lay down. Lay down, be quiet. Sorry for yelling, y'all. So I'm going back to the beginning, back to what I started this for. Because I have gotten sidetracked. Like I said, just trying to grab everything. And that doesn't work, right? Back to romanticizing your life. Like, I don't like hustle culture. I don't like hustle culture. Never have. That's not my zhuzh. That doesn't mean that I don't like being a boss, that I don't like making money. I don't think those two things are the same. I don't think hustle culture and being successful are the same. And I think that our community has really blurred those lines. And so I just kind of want to be one to speak out and show you that it doesn't have to be. You can be successful without hustling, your whole entire existence away, your whole entire self. There's a way to enjoy your life and still not have all of the things that you're waiting to get, right? Like, all of this exists. And not for nothing, once we get down into it, you're going to see exactly why them hoes mad. I promise. Because I think, mainly when people realize they can't keep you down, there have been people that have tried their best, honey, took their best shot, and it didn't work. And it's not going to work, right? Because I'm in a whole different vibration. Like, I'm in a whole different place, So what you attacking, you're not even attacking the right thing, which is funny, right? So yeah, when we get down to it and we get through this series, I don't know exactly how long it's going to be, because I already did start working on like an outline. I mean, I'm taking this serious, guys. So make sure y'all subscribe. Okay. We just going to get serious. We're going to get for real. And I'm just going to share a lot about how I got to be where I am, and the journey about where I'm going. Okay. Because one thing about me, if you've ever had an opportunity to encounter me, I know that you've left with something. You've left learning something. You've left laughing. You've left better than you. I left you better than when I found you. And I think that's a part of my gift. Because it's natural. That's anybody. It could be you hear the people say you ain't never met a stranger. I haven't. It could be the stranger. I promise anybody who encounters me leaves me better than they came. Now, and maybe not the ones I have to go off on, but even them. Because I think sometimes you can tell a person off, and you can do it so well that they have to say, you know what, you're right. You know what, you're right. So that's going to be coming. Let me get back to what we was talking about. So I'm leaving the last story for the Scamanda, honey, and the Summerhouse scandal. But before we get into that, we are just going to talk a little bit about Drew. Now, this is the thing why when we do live videos, guys, like that's why I want y'all to make sure you turn on the bell notification so you can at least get a notification if I do drop a live and it's a random live. You can jump in and be able to comment with me, because I do love a little bit of interaction. But if you are catching this on the replay, listen, that's all good too. Just give me a shout out. Say, hey girl, hey, let me know where you're listening from and how your day is going. But we don't jump into this Drew situation. So I think it has been reported that Ralph has taken custody. Excuse me, not taken custody. Let me make sure. I want to be able to say it correctly. And I'm going to the post that I saved just so I can reread what that caption is. Because this is Drew responding. So first, let me say, it had been reported, I think Friday, that Drew Sidora was ordered to temporarily vacate her Georgia mansion. Her ex, Ralph Pittman, has been awarded entering, I don't even know how to say that right, primary custody of the kids. I know what the word means. I can't say it, but it's like intermediate, right? Like, you know, when their divorce is not final. So he has been granted primary custody until they figure out the finalization, right? So it's possible that they can go back to a joint custody, but as it states now, Ralph was granted primary custody. This is Drew's statement about that. So let's go ahead and read it. Good morning. Some details regarding my divorce have recently become public, although the process is not yet finalized. During this time, Ralph and I are committed to co-parenting and doing what's best for our children. While certain things are beyond my control, my focus remains on showing up every day as the best mother I can be. Living in the public eye comes with challenges, but I am choosing to move forward with grace, growth, and intention. My children are my priority, and I'm committed to leading with love, peace, and positivity. There is no ill intent toward anyone, just a continued focus on healing, evolving, and becoming the best version of myself. Okay, so she really didn't answer us nothing. What we can deduce is that that report is true. She has been asked to leave, and Ralph has been granted temporary primary custody. Now, I'm just going to say that I got a lot of things to say, really, per usual. I'm going to compare this situation a little bit to the Candy and Todd, right? So, because, you know, it was kind of like, well, they had reports like Todd was squatting, you know, like he wouldn't get his own place. And then Candy had to come back and kind of correct and say, well, no, some of this that's going on was really what's mapped out in the prenup, right? He was able to stay in the property until such time when they got everything settled, right? And that only makes sense that, you know, it's crazy to me that you would think you break up with somebody and you're just gonna put them out on the street, like somebody who is paying mortgage with you, or, you know, and I know that that's not necessarily the case where Candy and Todd are concerned. But anyway, that what they were doing had already been worked out in the prenup, that this is the way that it would go if in the event they got a divorce. But I feel like this is the most important thing where it comes to, we start to talk about custody of the kids and everything. And as a woman, first of all, I don't appreciate that a lot of times there are outlets that post things about celebrities and their kids losing custody. So like, again, you know, the headlines is like, Drew lost custody of her children, and it's kind of like, that's a bit much. And it's also this way of where it's like demonizing women, right? It's messed up in this world that women are only seen one way. And like in the case of these two couples, Drew, Ralph, Candy, and Todd. Hey, in the in the in the situation with them, you have the women that we just gonna assume are the breadwinners. But I'm gonna take the word breadwinner out. I'm not even gonna, because it ain't even about who make the most. It's more about what they do to make their money, right? Like what it requires them to do. So like what Candy end up doing being on Broadway, it requires her to be in New York while her family lives in Atlanta. And it's kind of the same with Drew. Like I don't know why her kids missing all this school, because that was some of what was reported about why the judge made the decision. But I'm gonna tell you one thing: Drew is aloof. For the time frame we've been watching her on television, that is exactly why she's been able to be kind of successful. She's very aloof. She's very not in tune. So I think I kind of understand, like, yeah, she's checked out because she's very much involved with the lifestyle she needs to present, have, do, to stay on this show. And this is what we mean where reality TV is just really, it can be kryptonite to people because once it becomes like Drew, this is Drew's livelihood for real. Drew is not making any money off of her music. As a matter of fact, drop down in the comments. Let me know how many of y'all knew who Drew Sidora was when she showed up on your television screen as Drew Sidora on the game. Nobody knew. Like, even she came on the game as herself. I still ain't heard a song she said had. I still ain't heard one. And if I heard it, I know, because did nobody make sure I knew that was Drew Sidora. But my point is, that's not the way Drew Sidora was introduced to us. Drew Sidora was introduced to us as an actress, not a singer. And so even with that, she came to Real Housewives of Atlanta. First season Housewives do not get paid. And when I say first season Housewives, I mean just that. Somebody you ain't never seen on the Housewives before. First season Housewives. First season Housewives do not get paid. And so now she's on her fourth season. So she's getting her something now, right? I think last season, and you can tell in the way that she dressed, you can tell in the way that she show up, you can tell, like you pay attention, you can tell. Nobody has to tell you this, you can see it. You remember that first season, them wigs looked like somebody picked that shit up out the garbage. Okay, went to Party City with that wig. They had a whole season making fun of that girl's wigs, which I felt bad for her. And that is the reason why she got with Portia. Portia got a whole wig line. Duh. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. Get with your counterparts, girl, so you don't have to look as broke as you are. But anyway, so she just making money. So listen, Drew is trying to do all the things to try to keep some money coming in, because also she is going through a divorce. So I'm saying that to say, I can understand, I can see where she probably is checked out about these kids, not paying no attention. Also, I'm just going to throw this in here. I know we had always been told about truancy, and that like there was like a truancy officer when I was going to school. I don't know if I don't think I missed a lot of schools, so I don't know if I would have known who the truancy officer was or not. But all I'm saying is I just ain't never seen nobody get in trouble for not going to school. So I didn't even know that somebody actually paid attention to it. That's what I'm going to say. But maybe it depends on maybe it depends on the teacher, maybe it depends on the school. And that's a shame, because like I said, I didn't even know that that was a thing. I know that your kid's supposed to go to school. I just didn't know nobody was checking behind you about it. That's all. That's all I'm saying. So we're gonna wish Drew good luck with this though, because what I'm getting to too is like when these celebrities are going through their divorces and they have kids and things like that, I feel like the fairest thing for the parents is just joint custody. There's no fairest way around it. It keeps some people from have somebody from having to pay child support, you know, and maybe spousal support to the other person. Like it generally just makes it fair. And if you are the mom, you know, like I said, it sucks that as women we get put in these types of boxes. But as a mom, if you are the one that has to travel, you know, has to do the things like that, you know, help you make money, then joint custody is the fairest thing. There's no way you can have primary custody, and like that's what I'm saying about Candy. No way you can keep primary custody of your kids, and you need to be in New York for 6 months. How do you do that? And you got kids that's in second grade and kindergarten or whatever they are. So yeah, you know, it's like I don't know why. I'm not really sure why this is always the thing. And maybe that's easy for me to say because I wasn't sharing custody with nobody. It wasn't nobody around to share custody with. That man was just happy with paying some money and moving on about his business. And that's what I did. I took it and I let him move on about his business. So I didn't have there was not an option of sharing custody, but guaranteed if that's exactly what I would have did because it's the fairest thing. It's the fairest thing. You say definitely get put in a box. Yeah. I don't know, you know, and it really sucks though, because it's like, well, if you're a mom, then that's all you're supposed to do is just raise your kids. You know, but like I say, and I mean, it goes both ways though, because if you are doing these other things and it takes, because one thing I'm not gonna take this away from what kids need. Kids need stability. You ain't move, not ain't no way you moving no kid, you know, every 6 months from here to there to there. That's not cool. That's not okay. And so if you can, fine, you get you a producer husband who, when he get his, you know, or now that he's your ex-husband, when he get his jobs, he's still able to stay in the same city. So the kids ain't really got to change they don't have to change their routine and stuff like that. Kids need structure. That is part of raising a part of it. A well-rounded kid is giving them structure. Even just a well-behaved kid is giving them structure. You can tell when you come into contact with grown-ups and otherwise, and they ain't had no structure. Most people don't. They lack accountability when they don't have structure. They lack respect when they don't have structure because they don't respect anything. Your time, they time, you know, nothing. So yeah, structure for kids is, and I think when it comes down to courts, I'm not here to go and fight for anything about my kids in court, but I do think when they make that statement, it's my job to look into the best interests of the kids. I believe that that is what they're looking for, is the stability portion. Who's most stable? Who's going to be able to provide a life in which this child is not wondering where their parent is, if they coming to get them, if you got to go, if you're going to be able to go to school, do you got what you need to get dressed? Like that, no kid should have to go through that. And so that when it comes down to the courts, I do believe that that's what the courts are talking about. They're talking about how to keep a child in the most stable environment. And so the best way you can get to that, get to it. But I don't know. Drew, good luck, girl. That's all I got for her. That's all I got for Drew. Is good luck, girl. But you know, we're gonna see. I guess she over there with that man in the phone. That's gonna be interesting to see. You know, Real Housewives of Atlanta just started. So tonight, episode 2 comes on. And again, we will be doing the review for episode 2 on Tuesday evening. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you are not already. And also make sure you hit that bell notification so you can be notified whenever I do upload a new video or whenever I do go live. So yeah, we're going to send Drew love. We're going to wish her the best, honey. Drew done figured out how to be funny on this show. She is funny. But the same still remains. I think that Drew is aloof. I think she's flaky. And I think she's a pretender. She's a poser. That's what I would call her. And then it sucks because she's from Chicago. She's from my hometown. And I really wanted to like her. But Drew is from the suburbs. They tell me she went to do, what did they tell me she went to Dunbar. That's what they told me. She went to Dunbar, y'all. And I'm like, that girl do not act like she went to Dunbar. That's a high school. Because I said to myself, I said she had to move early. Like, that girl is only from Chicago in theory. Like, she did not grow up on the streets of Chicago because she, in my opinion, she does not act like a girl from the city of Chicago. She acts like a girl from the suburbs who reps the city of Chicago. Okay, and if you know, you know. I don't need to explain nothing else. If you know, you know. What I am going to tell you about, I'm going to throw Angela in here because we ain't talking about Real Housewives, but we're going to throw Angela in here. Angela from Chicago. And Charles confirmed it when he confirmed that she was from the West Side. But what I am saying is I could tell in the way that she talked, in her delivery, the way she handled those girls. That girl is from Chicago. Because it's a way, like, Chicago girls got a way about them, and it just is what it is. I don't know. Maybe you born with it. Like, I don't know. But Chicago girls definitely just have a way about them. Why do these look like little people? I don't like this. It's making me uncomfortable. Okay, now let's move on to the next story. Yeah, good luck, Drew girl. All right, so the next story I am doing is going to be about Love and Marriage Huntsville. It's just a little clip I found. This is Ken. So look, y'all know my Philo is out right now. I'm not paying for it at this moment. I'm not even sure when I'm going to pay for it at this moment. So I might be really behind on the shows whenever I get to do a review about them, because I might have to wait for them to come on Max. But the truth of the matter is, I'm not even paying for Max. I done cut out all of my streaming services because I got to rebudget. I got to redo some things, and so yeah, I don't have access to watch them. So I'm not really sure where we are in the Trish and Ken saga on the episodes right now. I'm already checked out from Trish and Ken. I've been checked out since they first got on our screen. I really was not interested in this whole dynamic because it felt stupid to me. It's kind of the same thing with Clarissa, right? Where Ken is concerned. It's like, if you have these great qualities going for yourself, how do you attach yourself with somebody with all of this baggage? Like, what is wrong with you? That's crazy. And I'm sorry for calling what it is baggage, but that's what it is. Like, that's what it is. It's baggage. And so, same Clarissa and any lady out here. Because I think this is the advice I would give to any lady. You meet a guy, he tells you that he's separated from his wife. Okay, that's cool. But why would you date a man who hasn't completed whatever that process is? So you separated from your wife. Just how long do you plan on being separated? Because at some point you need to get a divorce. I don't want to be somebody sitting up laying with a man, planning out a future to somebody whose future is still attached to somebody else. So going back to Clarissa a little bit, Clarissa, like, everybody kind of trolls you because you look crazy, planning out, having a baby and getting married to a man who hasn't gotten a divorce. That it feels like the elevator don't go all the way to the top, because you would need that man to get a divorce. And it would seem like that would be the priority instead of trying to convince the whole world that this is really going to happen. Like, because we already know that bigotry is not legal. I mean, maybe you got to find out, but we already know that. And so that's the reason why we like, girl, are you cool? Are you okay? And I'm saying this to my ladies in general. You meet a man, he's separated. I don't think that's fair game to start dating him. I think that's fair game. Like y'all can, I guess, talk a little bit. He can't talk to me. People grown, do what you want to do, but he can't talk to me. No, you have to take care of your business before you come talk to me. And here's why. Because if you can't take care of your business before me, how the hell do I expect you to take care of your business after me? I done been, and I done already raised a man. Not the 3 I had to raise somebody else's that they gave birth to, right? But when they came to me, they hadn't had all the things that they should have. And so I had to teach that person the things, like that you should know. And I ain't doing it again. I ain't old enough for that. I was in my 20s. I wasn't old enough then. If I knew better, I would not have done that then. But listen, I ain't in my 20s today. I know better. Okay. So that's kind of where I'm at with Clarissa. But let's just go on and hear what Ken got to say.
I mean, I probably shouldn't be saying this out loud, but I haven't signed my contract. I'm single. I'm a single man. Been single for a few months now.
A few months?
Well,
how many months?
It's been all of 2026.
3 months, so 4 months.
We going into 4 months.
Today is the first.
3 months and 1 day. Ken, are you going first? But have you guys been broken up before for this amount of time?
No, so we've never broken up this long. This is actually a real breakup. And I want to say Trisha's a great person.
Okay.
I'm not going.
I love that.
It's nothing. I have nothing against her. I feel like relationships can be great. Some, don't reach the potential that they could be, and I think that's what we got. Is what I was saying earlier. I think it was just a lot of unhealed situation. Mm-hmm. I don't want to speak on the other person, but
that person is wild.
That Trump. Like just sitting in the middle and seeing some of the things that she had to go through mentally, I actually understood her and where she was coming from. Okay. My problem is I didn't feel like it was fair for me to have to, have to try to navigate.
Okay, that's the end of that. But I think he was just going to go on and say he didn't think it was fair for him to have to navigate it. And like, that's what we was all really saying when you first got on the scene with this girl and she separated from her husband for 5 years. That ain't even as long as Pap and Remy. Well, we don't know how long they've been separated ourselves. We just found out because somebody made it public. So it could be going on the same type of time frame with them. But I agree. That's a major red flag. You meet somebody and they tell you that they've been separated from their partner for 5 years. Why haven't you got a divorce? And then whatever the reason is behind that, why are you in my face? And why are you not sitting up trying to figure out how to get this divorce? Like, I think that is a huge red flag. It's a huge red flag in many ways because it tells you about how that person deals with their business in general, right? That they push things off. Prince Michael Jackson, be quiet. I'm not done. So it just tells you that they're not that as responsible as you would want a person to be. Listen, or maybe I just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a stickler. Maybe I'm just, uptight, or whatever. But it's a no-go for me. I would not date a man who is separated. You can't access me. Go take care of your business. And that just is that. So, Ken and Trish are not together. He said they have not been together all of 2026. This was recorded at the top of the month. I wonder, I ain't got a lot of followers, but I wonder if I could reach out to Ken and if he would come and talk to me and Angela. I probably should have. I wish talk to Angela and see if she'll do it. So she got more followers, We'll see. Because I just, would be curious about how he even decided to stay in that situation, because it just felt like with him, you don't have any kids. You don't have an ex-wife. Like, you don't have any of those things. So, like, you literally could go find you someone that just is bringing what you have, which is no drama. And clear, like I said, in 5 years, yeah. Yeah. So them being broken up is no surprise to me. And yeah, I think it's a good thing. All right, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so oh, I forgot to pull up the other picture. Let me see really quick if I got the picture. So the next and final story that I am going to talk about today is going to be about Summerhouse. Okay, so for those of you that are, let me see, I'm trying to find the right picture, y'all. So those of you that have been following me, that have listened to the other reviews and things that I've done, you know that I watch a lot of shows on Bravo, not just Housewives, right? I watch Below Deck, Summerhouse, Martha's Vineyard, hell, name them. I can tell you I can tell you what I don't watch quicker than what I do watch, because I don't watch the Next Gen, NYC Girls. I don't watch that. I have not watched Utah this season. I think I am going to watch them, but I have not watched them this season. And I have not watched Rhode Island just yet. I will watch them, but I have not watched them just yet. Anyway, my point with all of that is to say that I do watch quite a bit on Peacock, or excuse me, on Bravo. And Summerhouse does happen to be one of them. Summerhouse, I have watched since the beginning. I actually watched it since its first season. Now, funny thing about me watching Summerhouse is that it was my cousin that got me to watch it, because at first, oh man, wait a minute, let me see. Is they not gonna let me upload it? Don't give me a hard time about it. Okay, let me go back. Why you still obsessed with me? So my cousin is the one who got me to watch it first, because I think I felt like it was a little silly or something. I didn't really go into it, but she let me know. Oh no, I know what it was. Let me stop. I did feel like it was a little silly, but she had watched the first episode and she called me back and was like, "Girl, no, you'll like it." But what they did, which is what they do a lot when kind of like these spinoffs, even though Summerhouse was not a spinoff from Vanderpump. However, they used the girls, they used a couple of the girls in Vanderpump Rules to go to the Hamptons. And so that's how they introduced the Summerhouse cast. I was trying to get the photo up, and of course, it's telling me it's an invalid file, so it won't let me upload it. Let me see if I can upload the one that I think it will let me. It just don't have all 4 of the characters. It just don't have all 4 of them. Okay, but that's Sierra and that is Wes. Okay, that is Wes, W-E-S, from Summerhouse. Okay, so the scandal is Sierra was added to Summerhouse about 4 seasons ago, and Wes was added about 2 seasons ago. During Wes's first season, and this is currently, so Summerhouse is currently airing now, and this would be considered Wes' 3rd season. Okay, so during the first season, Wes and Sierra, they started dating. Now, let me just explain Summerhouse, what it is. So Summerhouse is basically about this group of young adults. They work in New York and they have a share house in the Hamptons. So in the summer, they go to the share house every weekend. And so that's really what the show is. It shows them showing up for the weekend. They'll throw different themed parties, and of course, it's all these young adults in this house. So yeah, drama, okay, because they all drunk, they all hooking up, XYZ. So back to Wes and Sierra. So Wes and Sierra started to date. Again, this was Wes' first season. Well, during the reunion, it was found out that Sierra and Wes were not dating anymore. Basically, Wes turned out to be a fuckboy. I guess he just really got enamored with the fact that he was newly famous. He's on the show on Bravo. He started hooking up with the girls in the clubs and all of that. And Sierra is not that type of girl. Fast forward to this season. I gotta get this other photo for y'all. So because I gotta get y'all to have the y'all got to have the proper photo, like the face, the proper reference is what I want to say. Let me see. I'm about to get this. I'm gonna make sure. Page. Let me upload it to here. Yeah, I'm gonna just put it in Canva and download it as a PNG. So if you ever have something you trying to share and they're like, it's the wrong file type, then just resave it in your Canva. Okay, so Sierra is done with Wes after that, right? So Wes comes back to the summer house the next summer. Wes is back, and Sierra is paying him dust as she should, right? So now this third season, he's trying to figure out, like, well, he really wants to get back in Sierra's good graces. Wait a minute, where did the doggone thing go? Okay, wait a minute, y'all. See, this is the problem. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's better. Okay, so now I'm giving y'all everybody involved, at least in this scandal or semi-scandal, because it might not actually be a scandal. Anyway, Sierra is our black girl, okay? And not for nothing, she's a traveling nurse. Of course, I just gave you the time frame about when they added her. So yes, they were adding her as an attempt to be inclusive. I hate that she is stuck in that position, but that's just what it is. Because now they got two other African American cast members this season, but it still feels very tokenish. Anyway, because they really, like, the truth of the matter is they really could have kept Martha's Vineyard. And I mean, and Sierra could have been on Summerhouse, fine, but I don't like it. Anyway, so Sierra and Wes, they dated. Then you have Amanda and Kyle. Amanda and Kyle have been on since season 1. Amanda and Kyle are part of the OG crew. Okay, Kyle specifically. Kyle is the ultimate party boy. He's like the grown frat boy. Okay, him and his best friend Carl. Throughout the seasons, we've seen them go through a lot. I'm trying to think of what season Summerhouse is on. I can't even really think. Let me Google that real quick. But Kyle and Amanda got married. I want to say they got married about around season 3 or 4, something like that. Amanda was one of the girls. She was kind of like a booty call for Kyle. That turned into a girlfriend. That's just, for lack of better words, that's just what it happened. Now, word Summerhouse. That's funny how that just popped up all this other stuff. Okay, so they got 10 seasons. Anyway, yeah, they got 10 seasons. And I'm wondering if I'm right. Let me see. I'm gonna go to season 4. Is this when someone to say Amanda and Kyle got married around season 4? Okay, yeah. So okay, so actually they got engaged season 4, and so which means they probably got married after season 5. Because they didn't get married, their wedding was not a part of the show. Um, and they got married off season. But anyway, so Kyle and Amanda are married. They're kind of like the house parents. Let's just because they're the married couple, right? Nobody else is married. And so in the midst of that, Kyle and Amanda have had issue. Kyle has cheated on Amanda, but I will tell you that like Amanda, she's just kind of been going through this thing. She's had some mental health issues that's been displayed on the show. A lot of the issue was always surrounding Kyle. Like I literally, as I'm watching this, currently watching this season, it was not on my bingo card that Amanda would be the one um kind of in the hot seat. I thought it would be Kyle. Even as the season is airing, Kyle is being a total a-hole. Um, but okay, let's just go back into the dynamics. So of course, when you in this summer house type of deal, I think with anything you kind of have like girls and boys, right? So Sierra is in the group with the girls. The girls, they do their girly thing. The boys do their boy thing. And then, like I said, in this current season, Wes is just really. I don't think he's trying to necessarily get back with Sierra, but I feel like he just wants to make it right and make sure she's comfortable. Fast forward to let's just get on down to what had happened is. What had happened was apparently, so in January, Amanda and Kyle announced their separation. And nobody was surprised by this, right? Because we watched them. Like there was this point in which Amanda, I think, wanted to shift her career, like maybe start doing, I don't know, maybe some fashion stuff. And all of a sudden, because Kyle has a business called Loverboy, like a drink business, but all of a sudden now he's like DJing. And then this season, we are hearing like his business is going under. And I guess his DJing is kind of like what's keeping him afloat. Either way, I was not pegging for Amanda to be the one that was in the hot seat. Because again, January they announced that they're separating. Nobody's surprised, right? We saw this coming. But also we did not see Amanda and Wes hooking up being something coming also. Considering that Paige, which Paige is not on the show anymore, Paige was dating Craig from Southern Charm. Yes, Southern Charm is another show that I watch. Anyway, Paige, Amanda, Sierra, and Lindsay. Lindsay was kind of back and forth because Lindsay reminds me a lot like me. She's independent in the sense where I think the like girl click thing can be a little bit icky for her. Like, and it kind of is for me too. Like sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Because I'm not, I just, So they are like besties. I mean, for lack of better words. And so, it just felt like there's a little bit of a girl code that's been crossed. Like, even though Sierra doesn't seem like she is trying to get back with Wes, it just feels like that's a line that should not have been crossed. Like, that your girl hooked up with the boy, and maybe you should this is what I say to myself. Like, it's got to be more fish in the sea than for you to be like hanging around screwing, the person your friend screwed or liked. You know what I mean? Like it can't, like you can't be that lonely. But they did release a statement, honey, and it was a joint statement. Amanda and West did, and it really was just saying that they just found themselves in a position and they're trying to navigate these new feelings. So, like I said, it was a confirmation that they are dating. It has been confirmed that everybody seems to be showing up at the reunion. So I guess we're gonna find out a little bit more at the reunion. And also, this is what I was interested about. They got a whole new show coming out in the city. So this is kind of like the spinoff from Summerhouse in the city. I guess it's just gonna follow, the life in the fall, spring, summer, in the words of Sheree. But you see Kyle and Amanda, that's them standing up front. That's Lindsay right in the middle by herself. That's why I said I relate to Lindsay. I kind of get where she at. The other people I don't think I really recognize from the Summerhouse at all, but those three are definitely from the Summerhouse. And I feel like maybe we're going to see some of that play out. Oh, Kyle, is that Carl? No, Carl was not even asked to be in the city. I think he's feeling some type of way about that too. Anyway, so I feel like we're going to see some of this play out in both areas. I know that there's a lot of speculation as the shows or the episodes are going this season. A lot of people are trying to pick out, these like moments to see like, oh, this. The one moment, here's the thing. Even though I was quite shocked about the news that the two are together or hooking up or whatever they call themselves doing, you can kind of see it in a sense because Wes is doing a lot to take up for Amanda because Kyle is being an a-hole, which is kind of his default setting. Like Kyle has like his default is a-hole. Because some people can be nice assholes. Because when I say an a-hole, it's not like a you don't want to be around them. It's kind of those things where, yeah, he got those real a-hole moments, and it's hard to watch, especially when he going off talking crazy to his wife. And so Wes has been stepping in, just kind of in what I would say. I thought it seemed like he was being a friend to both of them in a sense. It's like, damn, calling Kyle out about the way he was speaking to Amanda, which clearly we understand why Amanda separated from him earlier in the year. But again, what we watching took place in the summer. So we've got a whole nother 6 months. And that's what I'm thinking is going to play out on Summerhouse. Now, the whole Amanda West, hooking up thing, I think that's more real time. And I'm not sure how much of that we're going to get. But I am looking forward to the reunion, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they got to say about themselves. But Kyle's coming up roses, huh? I did not see it for him that way at all. I did not. Mm-hmm. All right, well, listen, that's all I got. I ain't got no more. I just wanted to jump on and get my little show started because this is something I kind of want to do too. It's kind of have like a show in which I just talk about some hot topics, give you a little bit of my opinion about them, and then I'll see you on Tuesday, right? Listen, like I told y'all before, if you have not already, make sure that you do subscribe to my channel. Make sure that you hit the bell notification. Let me know what your opinion is about any of the stories I covered. Let me know if there's a show you might want to cover. I did want to talk about America's Next Top Model. I was supposed to add that in, but I didn't put it on my notes. So we're going to have to add that in or do a separate one. Anyway, like I told you, that you're going to catch Real Housewives of Atlanta, that review on Tuesdays at 9:15. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Comment. I will comment back. And also I will be releasing a premiere live. The live will consist of the Married to Medicine award results, right? We have to get that out. So be looking forward for that to drop probably Tuesday lunchtime. I think I'm going to schedule that for Tuesday lunchtime, and then we'll do Real Housewives of Atlanta Tuesday evening, right? I appreciate everybody for joining me. I appreciate the comments. Thank you so much. It's your girl KB for joining. Make sure you are subscribed if you have not already. And I'll see you guys on Tuesday, right? Don't forget, Real Housewives of Atlanta. It comes on tonight, and we will be back with a review Tuesday. All right. Bye, guys.